Chris Rolls and Neil Reed. Kind of a different starting lineup for Bob Knight in this contest.
Moving over to the Wisconsin side for the starting lineups tonight. Dick Bennett's Badgers, and size will be the key. Sean Doherty, the 6'10 sophomore, makes his 27th straight start. He's joined in the front court by freshman Sam Oakey, who leads the Badgers in scoring and rebounding. Oakey 13 points and nearly 7 boards a game. Osito Achukwu comes off the bench. That means Sean Carlin, Hensi Oriental, and Jeremy Hall round out the starting 5. And we're just about set to go. The opening tip-off between the Badgers and Hoosiers is coming up next. Todd Lindeman and Sam Oakey are ready to jump center and get this Big Ten contest underway in front of a sellout crowd in Madison. The Badgers control the opening tip. Jeremy Hall will run the show.
Indiana opens man-to-man. Basically, you'll see this. Only a few exceptions will ever play a zone. Normally a 2-3.
Hensi Oriental works against Brian Evans. Make the drive baseline and bring it back out. Tight man-to-man. Pulls up for the opening shot. No good. Indiana the rebound and Neil Reed.
Very interesting matchup here. Evans against Oriental. There's your inside play. They're looking for it. Missed the stuff.
Lindeman blew it.
Now they really let that ball down on the heel of his hand, and we've seen it so many times in tight where he's missed, gotten his own board back.
Interesting start for the Hoosiers. Jeremy Hall regains possession. Just underway in Madison, no score. Oriental kicks it out to Oakey. Sean Carlin, the Middleton native, gets the Badgers on the board first.
Excellent patience. Didn't turn the motors up. Set, ran 3 offensive picks before the opening came about.
Sean Carlin really doing a nice job on offense, plugging those holes for the Badgers over the last few games.
Good defense on the inside.
Lindeman again. This time he gets the kind roll on the road to fall through. It's a 3-2 game.
Had to release the ball, then gain possession again, then the ball went on the inside. Good play. That comes from hours of practice.
Imagine Indiana's done a lot of practice in their days under Bob Knight. Sam Oakey can't get the 3 to go.
That's the kind of shot you want, you work for.
Evans for 3. Can't get it to go. Doherty the rebound. Leaning the glass for Wisconsin.
Now one there was all 5 players boarding because you know that offensively Indiana will send the 4th player to the board, which is going to be Charlie Miller.
There's Doherty inside against Lindeman. Shot on the way, forces him to miss.
Well, there you're hoping to create the foul on the big guy on the inside.
And Doherty gets whistled for the hold on Lindeman. And John, they're pounding it in inside on every possession so far.
Well, a little bit. You and I were a little bit surprised at the starting lineup with Patterson playing so well. But starting Muye Zinovic, and also on the inside, is to be able to put the pressure in there, and then if he helps from the opposite side, he's in a board position with the 2 big guys at 6'9" and 6'10".
Reed steps up and hits from about 17, and Indiana has their first lead at 4-3.
Good control. You look at the second leading scorer being Reed. That comes about from pounding in on the inside. And then the defense dropping for his opening. That time on the penetration for him.
Sam Oakey kicks it back out. Doherty open from 18. Can't get it to go. No Badgers there for rebounding.
That time the shot up. Everybody really released to the opposite end of the floor. No offensive call at all on that one. But there's the fact that we talked about this coming in with Evans. Only 48 fouls in the entire season.
Well, it's interesting. Indiana against Illinois the other night whistled for 12 fouls throughout the whole game. That's very low, no question.
Indiana moves that ball so well, but also at the same time, talking about the offensive foul, but on the inside between Doherty and Lindeman. We talked about this opening up, about the matchup on the inside, how important both these players are. But Indiana, again, the pick is going to be there, much like Dick Bennett's offense.
So Todd Lindemann picks up his first foul, so the Badgers get it back, trailing by 1. Jeremy Hall against Neil Reed. Over to Doherty. There's Doherty against Lindemann. In traffic, can't get it to go. Ball loose, Indiana comes away with it. Charlie Miller.
We talk about your physical matchup here. You have Hall and 6'7", Charlie Miller. That's why you send him to the 4th player to the offensive glass.
Reed from way out. Can't get it to go. Rebound inside. Lindemann, the offensive rebound, and he draws the foul down low.
Right away, that forces Dick Bennett to go to the bench. Second personal foul here with under 5 minutes. You're going to see the attempted 3 from the outside. Goes up. Off the glass, you see the backside. He gained position on the inside. On the missed 3, when the ball was in the air, he moved inside on Doherty. Doherty's done such an excellent job in boxing off throughout this year. He's not a great leaper, but fundamentally sound to keep the offensive player off. That time, without the ball, you see Todd Lindemann not shooting well from the line at 50%, but dropped the first one like he's shooting an even 100.
Well, the strategy works, pounding it inside. They get their 2 fouls on Doherty and put him on the bench. And Indiana has a 6-3 advantage. 15:40 to go in the first half. The Hoosiers with the lead when we return. Tonight's Big Ten. Back at the field house, Indiana basketball, I should say Wisconsin basketball in a 6-3 lead. There's a quick look at the Big Ten standings reflecting the Minnesota upset over Penn State. The final on that one was 65-60. A game just seen over most of these creative stations right before the start of our game. Penn State coming to the field house next Wednesday. Ball loose, Hall in the right spot at the right time, and he takes advantage of it to tie the game.
Sure did. You can see the matchup in here with Mujezinovic on Oki, really trying to be physical with him as much as possible.
Inside, Lindemann loses it off his foot. Badgers a little more aggressive on defense.
Well, that's right. You see the pressure on the defense here. Mujezinovic, excuse me, I get too quick on this one. You got to slow that one down. But when he goes on top to kick the ball inside to Lindemann, see, that's where the drop-off defensively.
Moselle Peterson travels. Seen a lot of that this year called throughout really college basketball, really keeping an eye on the travel.
Well, there's the fact that he had the ball, defense was trailing him, which why he was open to receive it to begin with. Then slow himself down, just like when I'm trying to pronounce Mujezinovic. You got to slow it down. You can't pick that foot up so fast.
Tell you what, we can just have you say Harazem if you'd like to. Oki the rebound.
Here we talked about defensively. He started that first break. It was 7-2 board-wise for Indiana, but however, they only had 1 offensive board.
Jeremy Hall nearly walked there. 6-6 game. Baseline jumper in and out. All on the ground, gets up, coming back to play defense.
Well, he's talking about hustling back that time. Miller with the ball.
Mujezinovic inside, gets 2 off the glass against Sam Oki and Osita Wachukwu.
There's where you get caught up, not open to the basketball, to where you can see your man in the ball. Indiana took advantage of it.
8-6 lead for the Hoosiers. Oki makes the move. Moves back out. Moselle Peterson with the ball. Didn't travel to Iowa because of an ear infection. Misses his first shot. Still bothered a little bit by that, he told us today.
Well, that's right. And when the team came on the floor and the band started playing, he really had difficulty there with his head.
Reed kicks it over to Miller. There's Evans.
The fans really want to call on Lindemann on the inside.
Oki the steal, good anticipation of the pass headed towards Evans. He tries to go coast to coast, connects with Mujezinovich, now he needs some help in the corner, calls timeout. And a 20-second timeout called by Sam Okie and the Badgers to maintain possession. Smart heads-up play. I mean, there was a physical contact all the way to the baseline.
Well, you had on the conversion. Now watch Sam here. This is the end of it. Now you watch him pick the ball up. He carries it outside. Now he's looking. Now did he get pushed out from the waist down? You know, Sam didn't call a timeout, but it was called out on the outside. The 5-second count could have been in there. But you look in comparison here, coming back in here, of the senior versus the freshman. The difference in scoring, but you know I talked about it. Sam Okie can average 8 points a game, get 5 boards a game for the year. Average that would be a great freshman year, but look at him now. He's in a position to be the first player in this league ever in all 4 categories to lead.
That's right, which is points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. It's never been done by one single player in Big Ten history, and what an accomplishment that would be for this freshman. Oriental fires, gets the roll, and they'll call it a long 2 to tie the game at 8.
Well, he took his time squaring up.
Mujezinovich. Patterson in the game, loses it out of bounds, Wisconsin basketball.
Well, Chukwu created that. Also the fact that when he reached for the ball, he turned to look, and Sam Okie was there to help.
Ozell Peterson against Evans. He's in trouble, needs some help, throws it away to Reed. Picked off, dangerous pass. And quickly, Charlie Miller finishes the break, and Indiana has a 10-8 lead.
One of the rules with Coach Knight's defense, man dribbles baseline, you not only double but triple up, so he has no outlet whatsoever. And you saw that with Ozell Peterson going baseline to his right.
Jeremy Hall picks it up, he's double teamed. Back in the corner, Okie. Ball loose, Oriental. Throws up a prayer, can't get it to go. Stolen away by Chukwu. A lot of contact, and this one's going to go on Mujezinovich.
I tell you, there's some grabbing and pushing and holding in here so far. And when you're going to see the replay when Chukwu goes in. Good call there because the defense was still moving, did not establish position. But had he been able to look, there were 2 players open under the basket.
Timeout on the floor by 2. How about Bob Knight's record against Wisconsin, 43-4. That is just amazing.
Now we're talking earlier, as long as the physical part stays in this game, what's going to happen is going to be in Indiana's favor. Without question, because it's sort of like a middleweight fighting a heavyweight. I mean, they dance around for 2 or 3 rounds, and after that, I mean, you just can't get away. There's no place to escape.
That's exactly what Patterson, the call on the foul quickly, and now he blocks a shot on Carlin, and the Badgers get the quick inbounds. Peterson counters with the 3. Ozell Peterson.
Good loose change, good play that time off the block.
Tight man-to-man by Wisconsin, and a foul called on the other side on Hensi Oriental. Used the arm to push away.
Well, he did that time. Loose ball, trying to ward off the player. First personal on Hensi Oriental.
Jeremy Hall comes in for Oriental. Sean Doherty, John, of course, already on the bench with 2 fouls, and you mentioned the physical play favoring Indiana. Certainly when you're already down one player on the bench.
That's a player that helped you to survive.
Evans, quick step to his right, can't get it to go. Peterson the rebound. Here comes Jeremy Hall. It's got to be refreshing for Wisconsin not to see that full court press and half court trap by Iowa.
That's true, but also at the same time, you're going to have the same kind of intensity on half court and even greater than Iowa gave to you.
11-10, Badgers ahead. And they call traveling on Okie. That's a tough one for the fan to see.
Well, it really is, and you have the official. That ball, they'll let you get away with the foot release. as long as the ball is released from the hand. But when you still have it in the hand, you cannot release the foot.
Evans wide open for three, curls out. Okie the rebound.
You won't see many times with Evans cleanly open and missing that one. Now there's a bad pass that Dick Bennett talked about. You have an opening, a 3-on-2 break, and you cannot get the ball to the player.
Reed can't get it to go with Chukwu. And Patterson battle, and Patterson whistled for the foul. His second.
Now a player we thought might start to maintain pressure out front. Turns out to be Chris Rolls, but you'll see on the inside, shot up by Reed, off the glass. Now what? Does Patterson push him out of the way? He may not have intended to push him out, but he was leaning into him. Now you watch his expression like, I never touched him. I don't know if a player that's ever admitted he made a foul.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think that'd be wise. And I don't know if that was partially blocked. Moselle Peterson's three or not. Indiana has the basketball. Here's Rolls with the ball.
Evans on the inside trying to post up Carlin.
Vujacic inside. Gets two off the window.
You got a strong man. I'll tell you what, the big guy from Joliet Junior College. Coach Knight says plays harder and practices harder than any player I've ever had at Indiana.
Chukwu battles against Peterson. Gets his own rebound.
Right away off of that one, you end up and see Lindemann coming back in.
Ball loose. Jeremy Hall comes away with it. Ball tipped out by Evans. Carlin comes up with it. Wisconsin with a 1-point lead. And a 5-second violation on Okie.
First of all, I really couldn't believe that Vujacic was that tight on Sam Okie that time. I couldn't believe he was really pulling up that tight to create a 5-second call. But again, talking about what Coach Knight has talked about, how hard this big guy has played, he will try to play the defense in the perimeter position. You watch Evans here. Evans trying to get position on the inside.
Carlin chases it down. 2-on-2 break. Takes it himself. No foul. Oriental. And Carlin slow to get up, but here he comes. He's a fighter. Offensive foul called on Charlie Miller.
I'll tell you what, the Badgers they're really standing up to all this on both ends of it. Carlin went in. Really was attacked by three players, and you have to say it's good defense by Indiana. Watch, he goes in. Now watch, he gets hit after the shot. He comes into our camera, great shot. Now you see Oriental fakes it, goes back up. Now the camera's on Carlin. But the opposite you see in here, now watch, here's the help. Chukwu comes in after Oriental's beat and takes the charge. I'll tell you, one is a conversion back to the defensive end to create that.
Good point. Oriental out high. Peterson against Evans. Evans blocks the shot. Peterson gets it back. 10 on the shot clock. Steps up, fires, gets the home roll.
Good patience there with the dribble, set up the pick.
Patterson baseline move, runs into Jeremy Hall, and Hall gets called for the block out of position.
I'll tell you one, if Dick Bennett is not upset with the call, you see him on the sidelines in your upper right corner. He's talking to the two players when two went for the shot. His is not to block a perimeter shot, but the hand extended as he releases to go out and cover him. But Jeremy here questioning the call.
Well, what they're questioning, I believe, John, is they're going to give Patterson 2 shots. Was that a shooting foul? I'm not quite sure it was.
Because Jeremy was really trying to get out of the way. And Andre Patterson was penetrating to the basket.
Patterson connects. Boy, he had a game against Wisconsin in the first matchup last month. He scored all his points, 15 in the second half, and it turned out to be a huge difference.
Well, you know, Indiana been playing with him in the post position, and they moved him to the forward after that.
7:46 to go in the first half. Wisconsin leads by Indiana by 1 at 15-14. The Badgers have enjoyed home cooking, if you will, this year. 11-3 here at the Fieldhouse, 36-9 in the last 3 years. It's tough to win on the Big Ten, on the road, I should say.
Well, it is. Penn State found out about that at Minnesota.
Hoosiers have only won 2 Big Ten games on the road, same as Wisconsin this year. Just taking care of your business at home. Peterson over to Oriental. Jeremy Hall, fade away, long two-pointer from about 18.
Well, his coach, John Martin, was saying in high school he did all of his scoring off the dribble. Here he's been from a set position.
Richard Vanderbilt, number 21, into Indiana's lineup. Shot of the baseline, good by Brian Evans. That's what makes him so good.
Now there's a shot, and right away Dick Bennett says, front him, front him. 6:54 at Bloomington, Indiana. The Badgers led 16-14. Here we are at 6:50 and 17-16.
Okie for 3. Right off the back of the rim. Here comes Evans in Indiana.
Here with Brian Evans, you give him a clear shot. You talk about all the pure shooters that come out of that state.
Crowd wanted the walk.
He was posting up. He post up almost everyone. They're trying to post up now on the inside. Hall and Miller.
Rolls is open. Can't get it to go. Ball loose. Miller and Hall. Nice save by Hall, and Okie comes up with a loose ball. Peterson, a quick 3. Can't get it to go.
And right away, trying to control the clock, trying to force Indiana to play defense.
Badgers by 1, just under 6 minutes to go. Vanderbilt inside, Patterson. Evans. Some contact, no call. And Miller cans 3. Puts Indiana up 19-17.
Well, it's interesting in Indiana, leading by 2.
Hall got poked in the eye or hit in the head.
I was talking about that game in Indiana. It was 3 consecutive three-point plays that got the Badgers in trouble.
Nice inside pass. Okie to Moselle Peterson. He is fouled hard. And possibly, John, in that ear that's been infected this week.
That's true. Now you see, here's the pass by Okie. Really good look, fakes it, gets him up with the hand right over that ear area.
Charlie Miller, the foul. Moselle Peterson up. Looks okay. Sean Doherty checking in with 2 fouls back into the Badger lineup. Picked him up very early in this game.
If you see Bob Knight, he's going for additional size in here and also a potential three-point shooter. That Robbie Agers at 6'10", shooting 50% from 3 land. Okay, so you end up a drop-off by the defense for the Badgers on the outside. And they're trying to post up every mismatch they can on the inside. And one very obvious one is Miller and Hall. 6'7", and about 5'10".
Moselle Peterson connects for 2 free throws. Ties the game at 19, and he takes a seat on the bench. Hence Oriental back in.
You know, you say 2 mismatch situations. Miller, Hall, Evans against Carlin.
There's Eggers. Crowd wanted to walk, so did Dick Bennett. Miller, top of the key, hits for 3. 2 threes in a row for Miller.
It's another 3, but see all the look on the inside, and your defense has to drop back to help. Then they set a pick on the weak side for him to curl around the top of the key.
Oriental comes out with it. Hall forces one up. Air ball out of bounds, and he's saying it was partially blocked. He's saying it was partially blocked, but no one saw it, apparently, if that was the case. It's Indiana basketball.
I'll tell you what, you see a replay of it, really hard to concede the fact that, and to accept the fact that Hall would miss any shot from any place on the floor by that great a margin.
4:30 to go. Tight ball game for Madison. Ball stripped away, and Doherty comes up with it.
Nice hands by Sam Oakey.
Well, Sam Oakey doing some nice things away from the offense. He only had 6 points the other night at Iowa, but 10 rebounds, 3 block shots, 4 assists. And he has not scored yet today either.
Well, he really hasn't forced any shots up. I mean, he's waited for the opening.
Oriental had a good look.
Just a little margin for you on the perimeter.
Evans down low, Lindemann. And a foul. Offensive foul. Timeout on the floor. 3:41 to go in the first half. Indiana leads.
I tell you what, I'm not sure he even saw him there.
Headbutts aren't allowed.
You do that on your farm every day, don't you?
That's right, buddy boy. Not on the basketball court. Badgers looking to possibly tie in this possession. Inside Oakey. Tell you what, a lot of slapping going around, and they call traveling on Oakey. Tell you what, John, this is a physical game. That's the bottom line.
Well, that's true, it is, because you're going to have to carry a player with you, especially on the Badgers side here, but that's the kind of game you get into. Because you've got good athletes, they play good defense, and they're going to be right there in your face.
Mike Holzscher, number 23, into the Wisconsin lineup, and a traveling out high called on Lindemann. So it goes both ways. And
well,
quickly,
it sure does.
Bob Knight calls in Richard Manderville to come back in the game.
But at the same time, you end up with Randy Drury here, really an excellent official. He's on our game in Bloomington, had the Indiana-Purdue game this past weekend. But right away, you've got Evans and Miller trying to help him officiate. And his comment said, guys, I can handle it. And he can.
Just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Wisconsin down 3. Peterson hits for 3 to tie the game at 22.
But a release of pressure. Doherty came out on top to control the ball. And the penetration created a 3.
10 points in the first half for Moselle Peterson, who came off the bench in this one. It's the Field House. Crowd on their feet. Shot clock down to 10. Reed has to reset out high against Oriental. And a whistle stops play, and an offensive foul will be called on Robbie Eggers.
And now with the 18th foul in Indiana, the Badgers will go to the free throw line. But there was good defense. You talk about a crowd appreciating good defense. And that man right in your monitor here, Coach Knight, after the game in Bloomington said, look, that is really good defense that Dick Bennett has brought into the game in Wisconsin, and it'll only get better.
Indeed it will. Well, that man should know, John.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's always getting better at Indiana.
It was interesting, they had a short clip on him on Thursday night that talked about going back to Cincinnati for our NCAA championship team. And one is we had Coach Knight on the clip. Everybody says, I want to see Knight. I don't remember him when we played those games. And they had minutes for him in Freedom Hall in Louisville.
And a foul on Mike Holzscher. Brian Evans hits the deck. That'll be number 6 on Wisconsin.
Here it comes in. See Holzscher, and the hand is on there. Evans helped that little bit.
And a And another foul on Coastal Sharon. Ted Hillary makes the call. Badgers and Hoosiers are huddling down low. Officials want him to break that huddle and play basketball. Be honest with you, I didn't see what happened down on the baseline. I didn't either. Miller, lead-in shot. Foul. No good. Coming out of it is Richard Manderville. Gets it back out high. Reed drives. Nice move in the paint to give Indiana a 2-point advantage.
Nice penetration. Give Indiana credit. They really moved in on the offensive glass at times. Only the second offensive board that they've gotten.
And another traveling violation on Moselle Peterson. Badgers have seen that 3 or 4 times in the first half already.
Oh, it's interesting. You had a 10-5 margin for the Badgers with only 5 turnovers. Now those turnovers have increased to 7. And we'll see whether they cost them points or not.
Nice inside pass, blocked by Oki. And a foul on Sam Oki. John, was it on the shot or was it on the loose ball?
Call him the loose ball. Now you'll see it again. You go up. Sam Oki, the shot. Clean block on this one. Now watch it. It comes in here. Calls for grabbing him on the arm from the opposite side.
Tough to see from that angle. 1:30 to go. Moselle Peterson is seated on the bench.
We're talking about a size disadvantage right now. We talk about Coastal Sheridan being the 3rd largest player you have on the floor.
That is amazing because he's only 5'10".
That's right. Now you talk about he, Hall, and Oriental. One is going to match up on the forward spot.
And a lane violation on Wisconsin. Looked like they're going to call it on Oriental. So Mujezinovich gets another try. And that could be costly because he missed that free throw. And it proves to be costly. Don't want to give away points.
Oh, you sure don't, and especially if somebody who's shooting from the line so poorly at 52 in Big Ten play gets another shot at it.
Exactly. Coastal Sharon stops and pops like Coastal Sharon.
That's his first bucket in Big Ten play. Big defensive set here for the Badgers.
Evans baseline, and Indiana back up by 4. 55 seconds to go in the first half.
2 possession here. You know Indiana's going to hold for the last shot.
Wisconsin doing a nice job of the Big Ten's leading scorer, Evans, with only 4 points. And a foul on Mujezinovich. He can't believe it. Puts his hands on top of his head.
They can't believe any of them to get called.
So Sam Oki goes to the charity stripe for the bonus.
Here's a replay coming in. Now watch Sam. He got pushed. See, again, the one we talked about where he got away, where he pushed from the waist down. One we talked about how Iowa does it so well by pushing you under the glass. That's just good defensive position. You're trying to hold your own, and instead of doing it with a hand, which is an automatic foul, you do it from the waist down.
And when you are defending the ball, too, it's going to make it that much closer.
You got 260 pounds against 230. Something had to give, and Sam Oki did. He gave, lost the balance.
Well, he's learning throughout this game, too. This is a different style of physicalness that the Badgers are seeing.
You got a 6th set in here.
And a hold call on Sean Carlin, trying to keep up with Brian Evans.
Give Evans credit. He took Carlin down and made sure he had to come around to pick. Now watch on this. He comes in. They just close enough. Carlin could squeeze through and try to get over the top of it. You see Sam Oki in a position to help. But one of the problems you have is when Agers makes that pick and both players go, they can kick it to him shooting 50% from the 3.
And Evans hits. Mentioned during our open, John, hard to believe that during the Bob Knight era that Brian Evans could be the first Hoosier to lead the Big Ten in scoring.
Well, that's true.
A lot of years.
And even from the free throw line, it's almost automatic. Not until a couple of games ago was he perfect in Big Ten play from the line. Now you're down, no shot clock.
20 seconds, Badgers will work it. And another 5 call on Okie. Evans went down, but they made the call apparently just before the contact.
Here it goes again. Now you'll see if he's close enough. Is he close enough for a 5-second call? Now watch when he comes in. Now watch Brian Evans. And Brian Evans drops back like he was fouled by Sam Okie. Now 20-second timeout by Indiana. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be the look in, and it's going to be the curl pick for Evans. Occupy both at the same time. Take away your help. And also we'll look to see the pick will be made, I would assume, by Mandeville, because he had turned his shooting 40% from the three-point area or perimeter area.
Here's her field goal shooting. Indiana 10 of 22, Wisconsin 9 of 27.
See Evans, see the picker, he's trying to curl over again.
Time winding down. 2 seconds. It'll go? No. Time was there for Brian Evans, but he couldn't get it to go. So Indiana, who's unbeaten at 9-0 in Big Ten play when they're leading at halftime, leads in Madison 30-26. More coming up from the field house in just a moment. Each Brian Evans, though, the Big Ten's leading scorer at 21 a game, well under his average. And on the Wisconsin side, it's Moselle Peterson, who came off the bench in the first half with a pair of 3 of his own and 10 points. And we are underway, second half, Indiana basketball. Patterson. And the Hoosiers are now up by 6.
Now the set play to curl Evans off. He wasn't open. Released, left the floor, went to the opposite side for a double pick. No help. Ball enters on the inside to Patterson.
Sean Doherty playing with 2 fouls. Okie's shot won't go, but a foul will be called on Andre Patterson.
Well, it's interesting. Our colleagues here on the Indiana side were saying, why didn't Sam Okie take this shot? You see him come back. Watch the hand by Patterson coming across. Patterson's been in foul trouble basically every Big Ten game they played. He's had 5 games he's fouled out of.
He's got 3 already in this game. 30 seconds into the second half. Okie connects. Talked about Indiana in the first half pounding it inside, and they drew 2 quick fouls on Sean Doherty, and that completely took Sean Doherty out of the first half. He only got back in once, and it was basically for a rebound.
That's true. Now you see the adjustment. They've taken all the big guys out of the game, and they're playing with 2 guards, moved Charlie Miller down to the forward spot.
Evans kicks it out to Reed. There goes Rolls. Curley can't get it to go. The follow jam by Patterson will not be allowed. Ball over the top of the cylinder.
Well, interesting. It's John Laskowski making a comment here. You see, goes in, rolls, comes around, uses the rim to protect against Okie, goes up. Good call. Ball definitely on the rim. It's interesting. John Laskowski saying really doesn't understand the fact that why Patterson doesn't do more. He goes along, has 2 games of 20, and then he's just not around.
Bit inconsistent. Sophomore from Texas.
Imagine Reed's even posting up on the inside.
Miller, nice feed, and blocked by Okie. Evans gets it back in the double team. Kicks it out to Miller. Can't get it to go. Rolls the rebound. Patterson tries for 3. Finally, the Badgers come away with it. Some cold shooting to start out the second half.
Well, the Badgers done so well keeping Indiana off of the glass, and now they come back with 3 offensive boards to start the second half.
Harlan knocked down. All works against Rolls. Feed out, saved by Carlin. Back into Oki. Off the glass and good. Sam Oki looks like a different player here in the second half.
Well, that's true. The ball's going inside, but they needed him against the pressure in the first half to keep him on the outside.
Lob into Patterson. And a Wisconsin foul coming up. Probably on Carlin.
See, now you look at this. Other than Rolls for Indiana, now you see the lob go over the top. Now, in the first half, you could help because of the suspect perimeter shooting. Rolls are the only suspect perimeter shooting right now when they look to the inside to get the ball in.
Oriental fouls Neil Reed on the shot. Missed it, but he'll go to the line for two.
See, much like Dick Bennett's offense with a constant pick for the player, if you get picked, you're going to trail. If you help defensively when your teammate gets picked, then it leaves another perimeter shooter. So that time he trails, tries to block the shot, call for the foul.
Boy, Indiana's done a nice job of taking care of the basketball and staying out of foul trouble over their last few games. So Reed, 29 assists, only 11 turnovers in the last 4 games, and he's the one running the show.
You watch his assist performance that you have, and also a player like Brian Evans is second in the assist on team. That's like your Sam Oki for this team.
Exactly.
But it also is an indication you may not have a true point guard to be able to control the play for you.
Sam Oki against Evans. Lost in the traffic, ball lost out of bounds. Quickly, Patterson comes over to help out on the double team.
Well, he does because you're trying to take advantage of one-on-one against Brian Evans, who's not going to do a lot to really stop you. He's going to play good position.
Oki wanted the cut to Carlin. Two seconds on the shot clock. Carlin needs to throw it up. And they would not have allowed the shot anyway, apparently. I think the Badgers quite knew where the shot clock was at that point after the inbounds.
Well, there's a turnover, basically, but good defense by Indiana, and somewhat not being conscious of the shot clock.
Indiana with a basketball and a 4-point lead. Just under 17 minutes to go in the second half. Oki tips it out of bounds. Good anticipation on the pass.
And that's the extreme of a skip pass. I mean, again, when the ball is going to move about 40 feet in the air, you have a lot of free time to move from your defensive open position, as Sam Oki did.
The turnover situation, Indiana 13, Wisconsin 10. There's your points off the turnovers. Wisconsin trying to take advantage. Shot miss, Evans there. Garbage time for Indiana. They take a 6-point lead.
And there's a benefit of a bad shot. Quick rebound off, doesn't allow you to board it.
Moselle Peterson in the game and throws it away.
See, there's where you really question the fact is when you have Sam Oki in a low post position with a man on his back and you try to skip past the ball.
Evans hits for 3. Suddenly the lead is now 9, the largest of the game.
22nd timeout for Wisconsin.
Need to regroup a little bit here for the Badgers. Here in the second half, 16 minutes to go. Indiana can do it just that fast, but John, the Badgers don't look quite up to par right now.
Well, one is you start, we'll say it's a 6-point game. Still the fact that you get it down to keep it within a 5 range. And you come down with Moselle's pass, and you're really gone this second half going on the inside. Now you see Evans, see the matchup here where Indiana takes advantage. Your defensive center, Osita Nwachukwu, is caught on the transition picking up Evans. So the ball immediately goes to him, and he has a green light to put it up.
I think at the start of that replay, we saw Bob Knight say, "Take the shot, Brian." Didn't he say that?
I'll tell you what, you got Brian Evans, almost anybody would say that. But I'll give Bob credit. But more importantly, the fact that Evans listened to him.
Oriental for three. High arcing shot for Nancy Oriental. 6-point game. More importantly for Wisconsin, gets the crowd in it a little bit, but Patterson counters with a hook. Rolls in, 41-33.
That crowd really wanted to travel on that one. Mike LeCron, the head of the UW band, was right up at the edge of the floor.
He's played referee before, hasn't he?
He sure has.
Just likes to help out, I think, down there at the baseline. And Hensey lost that one. Here comes Evans on the break. He's got Miller on his right. Hits the hoop and no foul called. Either way, Hall goes down, but the Badgers now trail by 10.
They open up this second half in here. You've got a 13 run by Indiana. 7 for Wisconsin.
This is what happened at Assembly Hall, the first meeting. Tight first half, and then Indiana broke it open. Here they come again, rolls the steal. Evans steps up from about 15, can't get it to go. And Wachukwu with a rebound. Not a lot of life in the Badger basketball players right now.
Now we need a good offensive set this time, but you see what's happening here. The defense remains the same for Indiana. Extremely tight, and when you don't move to the ball, then the interception is going to be there.
Doherty hits. Long two for Sean Doherty, his first points of the game.
Now a good face-up, which you could end up in a low post position. Forced help.
And Usita Wachukwu called for the foul.
From Indiana, created the open shot.
And a timeout on the floor, 13:52 to go in the game. Indiana leads it by 8. The Big Ten's leading scorer has been a spark for the Hoosiers to start out the second half. Brian Evans leading the break here. Neil Reed poked it away. I guess the question on the other end is there a foul on either side?
Tell you what, Jeremy Hall had good position. Miller trying to get over the top of him.
It was a no call. Indiana basketball up by 8. Largest lead has been 10 just moments ago. Inside pass and Kolschel-Sharon fouls Brian Evans.
That opening in the first just over 6 minutes of play, 14 foul on the Badgers to 1 for Indiana. See, now the switch is at Kolschel-Sharon is on Miller. Oki now taking Brian Evans.
Neil Reed with the ball. Started there by Oriental. Patterson against Wachukwu. Cuts off the baseline. Crowd likes the D so far. Patterson for 3. He hits. Indiana is on fire in the second half. Up by 11 now.
Played the clock down within 5 seconds. Good defense for the Badgers, but again, you've got to force a player in the perimeter to put the ball down.
And when you're wide open too, it certainly helps. Speaking of wide open, Kolschel-Sharon can't get it to go. Ball lost out of bounds, and the Badgers will get it back in the fresh 35. Patterson battled Osita Wachukwu. And now, go ahead, buddy.
Sorry, partner. That time with Mike Kolschel-Sharon, the one thing outside, he really had one foot in front of the other. And he had plenty of time to take it back. But as Bennett said, you know, he's had such limited time of play. They've got to give him a time like all the other players here. They all made mistakes, but he plays good defense and he plays hard. There's the difference. He drew the foot back. Had the time to square up.
Doherty connects. 4 points in the second half for Doherty. Didn't score in the first half because of foul trouble. Reed no good. Oki comes down to the loose change and he'll lead the break. Behind the back. Kicks it out to Oriental. And he'll bring it out of the corner. Okie really working hard, and he can't get it to go. Follow tip. Patterson the rebound. Boy, that was falling down, and something popped that ball out of the hoop.
And control with one hand.
Evans over to Miller. And he hits the baseline. Jumper, everything's falling in for the Hoosiers right now, but they're working hard on offense.
Well, they're doing one thing. They're really making you pay for every mistake you make. You end up and release yourself from the floor.
Timeout. That's exactly what's happening. 48-37, 11:33 to go in the ballgame. In sports.
Okie fakes it, pivots back, goes up, off balance, one hand, almost in. Doherty from the backside. To talk about physical activity on the inside, good presence by both teams.
Badger basketball as we're back to live action. Sean Carlin back into the lineup. So is Moselle Peterson. Shot clock down to 7. Okie tries to find Moselle Peterson. Ball knocked out of bounds. Badgers get it back though with only 4 ticks. They need a quick one. Doherty, fade away. Didn't draw iron. Tough shot.
Tough shot, but set up, much like Indiana's. When Evans takes it out, he popped inside on the baseline low. Doherty tried it. A little short.
Evans kicks it out to Patterson, who hits for 3 again. 14-point lead.
Now you come back second half here. Difference in these two clubs. The one that gets it down and the other that doesn't. So your defensive adjustment is every time we cross over, Indiana switches.
And this is not unlike a Bob Knight team to come out with a completely different lineup. Well, not completely, but for the most part, we haven't seen Mujezinovich at all in the second half, and he played most of the first half.
Sure did, but they were trying to get us in foul trouble, and it didn't happen. So his adjustment, he went to the smaller lineup in the second half. Better defense, all spot perimeter-wise.
Inside Patterson, and he hits again. We mentioned earlier, had 15 second half points against Wisconsin in the first meeting, and he's lighting it up here in the second set of 20 at Madison.
He's played at both ends. He's played it facing up. He's played going in a hole.
Carlin a long 3, in and out. Boy, the ball just is not falling for the Badgers here in the second half.
The way Indiana plays defense, you're almost forced to take the first good look you have.
Not a lot of second opportunities. Evans a long 3, can't get it to go. 9:30 to go in the ball game. Badgers need a point, and they need it in a hurry. Ball lost out of bounds. Badgers get it back. Osito Achukwu and Jeremy Hall check into the Wisconsin lineup. Oriental and Carlin go out.
In here with Dick Bennett trying to get some offensive shot here. And also the fact some good defensive position.
And a foul call. This one is going to go on Charlie Miller, I believe. Or is it on Neil Reed? Neil Reed gets whistled for the foul.
First personal foul.
Ball stolen away by Reed. Ball still loose. Badgers get it back. Okie off the glass. Finally falls in.
I tell you, give credit to Moselle Peterson going on the floor, kicking the ball back in his hands and releasing it without traveling.
Now let's see what the Badger D can do to stop Indiana's hot offense here in the second half. Here's the man that's on fire. Patterson can't get it to go. The Badgers come away with it. Need to take advantage now of those opportunities.
Well, you do, and the situation is that every possession is so vital for you. You really have no margin for error.
Especially for this Badger squad. Inside, Peterson draws the foul, but can't get it to go. This one is going to go on rolls.
It's one of the difference you see, and you really look at Wisconsin as well. When you have your strongest inside, outside type player, Sam Okie, front line, leading you in assists. It sort of tells you something about your perimeter positions here. But you see the difference on this with Sam Oakey entering the ball for a mismatch with Moselle Peterson being guarded by Roll.
Here's the field goal shooting this half. Wisconsin up to 45%, but look at how many more shots Indiana's been able to get off and connect for 50%. A couple have been from three-point range.
And also the fact is they've gotten better offensive boards. They only had one offensive board in the first half. Now they've gone to glass, but you're smaller, but yet strong people on the inside, but quicker feet to get to that position.
Badgers have trimmed the lead down to 12. 8:20 to go in the game. Inside, ball loose, kicks it out. Evans over to Miller. Reed thought about it, steps up from about 15, gets his own rebound and scores. That just can't happen when you're trailing by a dozen.
Well, you can't, and there was Sam Oakey, picked him up. Shot was made. Oakey didn't box him out, nor go to the boards as well. But if they go one-on-one to the board, you'd like to think Sam Oakey's going to have the advantage physically, but he didn't go at all.
Speaking of Sam, tries to lay it off the glass, won't go, ball still loose. And Evans comes away with it and calls a timeout as he's falling out of bounds. Another heads-up play in this contest, and Bob Knight says, let's make it a 20 timeout.
I give credit to Brian Evans with all the contact inside, people going for the ball, being tipped around. He gained possession with all the traffic around and called for a 20. Now the set play you're going to see here, you'll say first, again we talk about. Last play comes back, Sam Oakey goes in, misses, tipped, he and Evans going after, tipped again, Moselle Peterson, he's down the floor, tipped out, and he calls timeout, falling out of bounds. Smart play.
Very smart play.
But again, to talk about Indiana, and you'll see the three-point opportunity here, 5 of 15 Indiana, 5 of 12 for the Badgers. 3 more opportunities in Indiana, but you'll see the curl here for Evans first. Now Evans goes down, gets a single here.
Ball knocked away by Peterson.
That time you end up with Doherty denying it.
Evans shot, foul will be called on Sam Oakey. Evans almost connected on that. Sam just got a hand in there.
But you see, defensively, you stopped it twice. They go right back to it again.
So Brian Evans goes to the free throw line. And a rare miss.
Rare miss. You're going to say this is about as automatic as the layup.
Two misses. My goodness.
That's unbelievable. I mean, the guy is as near perfect as possible.
Wachukwu goes to the hole, gets his own rebound, and lays home two. What hustle by Osita Wachukwu. He was on a mission.
Well, he was, and he got knocked out of balance by Evans and went back up and got the ball again.
12-point game. Reed falls down, and a foul is going to be called on Peterson. Ted Hillary makes the call down low on the baseline.
What's interesting on that is you see the left elbow come out by Reed.
Indiana basketball when we come back. Back at the field house, 7 minutes to go in this contest. Indiana by 12 over the Badgers.
Here you
Look at the hustle by
Wachukwu. Going left, goes inside, gets knocked behind by Lindemann. Goes back up, gets it, use the left hand, use the rim against the 3 Hoosiers you saw in your screen to convert. He's played so hard, been a good example for this young Badger team.
The rebounding advantage even in the second half, but Indiana the advantage in the first half. Neil Reed against Moselle Peterson. Now Evans works against Oakey. Dishes inside Lindemann. Lowers his head. Osita Wachukwu falls. No call, but the hoop goes down. So now it's 57-43.
Well, he had good position that time. Lindemann takes it in.
Oki for three. Nice shot by Sam Oki. Squared up nicely, John.
Now that time the Badgers are calling for pressure after all scores. But it wasn't there.
Ball stolen away by Oriental. Badgers down 11. Trying to convert. Inside Oki to Achukwu. And a ball saved. He tried to knock it off of an Indiana player, and Charlie Miller came away with a loose change. So,
well, that was a big one right there. You got it back to 9, got possession. Good defensive play.
Inside and a hold on Ositu Achukwu.
That's the 17th foul. They will now shoot free throws with 5:37 remaining. 3 team fouls on Indiana.
So now Charlie Miller goes to the line. 11 points in the last contest against the Badgers. 5 Indiana Hoosiers scored in double figures against Wisconsin in that first matchup of the season down in Bloomington. First free throw, no good. Yet another opportunity.
Another opportunity here.
And Miller knocks it out of bounds right in front of Dick Bennett.
Well, you know, we talked about it. Dick Bennett was talking about the passing has improved on this team, but also when you pass it, when the player's open right away, you don't hesitate and wait for the defense to recover. That time showed what he's talked about and what he's wanted to do all year in teaching this young team.
Oki wide open for three. And get it to go. Tough for the Badgers to get a second chance.
Well, true here, and you're talking about the player with the ball right now, Rolls, getting more time than any time this year in Big Ten play. But a lot is because of the respect they have for the perimeter game of Wisconsin.
And an offensive foul called on Todd Lindemann. And Doherty is still down. I don't know if he got hit in the mouth or the throat.
Well, there, I'd say he may have got the breath knocked out of him. I give him credit. Here it comes in. You'll watch it right in the corner. Now watch. Here comes Peterson outside. There it comes. You can just see it. And Sean is still cringing as he walks down the floor.
I think he did lose his breath there, no question.
Well, the player that came out was Lindemann. But see, now they've gone back to this smaller lineup. It's been so effective for him here in the second half.
Oki kicks it back out, Oriental. Sam Oki works it, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Moselle Peterson steps up. Can't get it to go, and a loose ball foul on Doherty. I think maybe he turned his ankle earlier and made contact, trying to regain his balance.
Well, here, if you're going to commit fouls now, and you're getting down into this range area here where you still play patient defense, but if you see the shot going up here, now watch. Loose ball play, balls off the iron. And you'll see Achukwu and Doherty going after it. But if you're going to foul somebody, you've got Chris Rolls shooting 25%. Big Ten play, 38 for the season. I tell you what, sure as you say that, the guy nails it, doesn't he?
Tell you what. Kind of felt like a bad omen in that Iowa game when Jeremy Hall was so hot, and I said he was going to pass his career high. And he didn't score after that. Ball lost out of bounds to Wisconsin. Now they're going to give it back to Indiana. Charlie Miller did some talking down there with Randy Drury. I think Randy said red ball from the get-go, but pointed Wisconsin's way. But again, an opportunity. Wisconsin had a big three-pointer by Oki. Last couple of minutes, the score has stayed an 11-point lead for the Hoosiers. Now it's 12, and they have the basketball back. 4 minutes to go in the game. Wisconsin has to make its move right about now. And down low, a hold is called on Sam Oki. That'll be number 3 on Sam.
See, with that, you really, if the foul is committed on Rolls by Oriental, but you'll see it in the lane area. It comes off the top. Sam's got a hold of his jersey. Really fortunate it's not an intentional foul. But I'll tell you what, Brian Evans either gets fouled a lot or has very poor body balance because he always seems to be on the verge of falling down.
Got balance enough just to play in the Big Ten, though, doesn't he? 3:56 to go in the ball game. 60-46 Indiana. Craig Kishano, John Powell is back in Madison, Indiana with a 60-46 lead over the Badgers with just under 4 minutes to go. Indiana started out the second half on fire. Andre Patterson really helped build the lead for the Hoosiers. Things calmed down a little bit after that, but not enough for Wisconsin to really crawl any closer to an 11 at this point.
Well, they actually got down to that point, had 2 possessions with a chance to drop it even more. Only got 1 shot, which was sort of a desperation, 4 seconds remaining on the clock.
NC Oriental. And that shot partially blocked with Chukwu. Battles underneath and draws the foul. Oriental wants to know why the foul wasn't called out on high.
That's true.
He says, put me to the line for 3. Instead, Osita Chukwu goes, drawing the foul inside. Free throws very big right now. If Wisconsin can get the run going, they need every opportunity.
Well, you see 4 personal fouls on Andre Patterson, and that's been a problem for him throughout this Big Ten season. But remembering being there for the second Big Ten game, and Coach Knight talked about it, he and Charlie Miller to become more physical.
Badger press. Rolls breaks it. And a foul called on Jeremy Hall. Badgers needed to foul right away. Actually, he was pressing him all the way up.
If you look at the players, here's your replay coming. He comes in, Hall trails, puts a hand in there trying to create the foul, does it again over the neck, comes back, Oriental gets him, Chukwu gets him, and now the foul. See, if all the players are on the floor right now for Indiana, you're talking about 85%, 73%, and then he nails it.
Well, that's why the Badgers went after Chris Rolls, because of the low free throw. As soon as the ball went in his hand, they went after him.
That's right.
Just a matter of whether it was going to be called or not, and he certainly comes through in the clutch, hitting both.
Yep, 25%, nails them both. Everybody else is shooting about 80.
Oriental drive, short, rebound. And a foul called on Brian Evans. Oriental battling underneath, and Sam Oakey looks like he got hit in the face.
Well, Brian Evans has been able to play. You see replay here. He comes underneath the basket. Did he get him? Gets him across the left arm. Excellent call by an excellent crew here today.
Ted Hillary, Randy Drury, and Mike Spanier. First one is there.
Yeah, you get the motion from the bench. If number 4, which is Rolls, gets the ball, foul him right away. He's made 3 of 4, shooting 25%.
12-point game. Here's the Badger press. Don't get to see a lot of it. And Rolls is fouled by Moselle Peterson. And that's what the Badgers want to do, force the ball into the hands of Rolls and foul him right away.
That's right, because an excellent job that time with the feet with Chukwu against Reed, trying to keep him from penetrating and forcing him to release the ball to the man you see in your monitor, which is Chris Rolls, out of Kansas City, Missouri.
Rolls 3 for 4 at the line so far in the game, make it 4 and 5.
That's how you think about your strategy. You do all this game plan. You look at people. You chart them out. You see who's shooting poorly from the free throw line.
Rebound to Doherty. 1 and 2 on this trip down. Need to convert. Doherty leaning, blocked by Patterson. Ball still loose. Oakey gets it back. Now it's an 11-point game. Ball coming our way. Miller comes away with it. Rolls. And foul on Oriental. He was able to grab Rolls right after he released the ball.
Well, again, too, your game plan, again, you're talking about all the people on the floor. Evans at 85, Patterson shooting 73, 75 by Charlie Miller, Reed at 80%. And now you got a 25% shooter. We keep saying about it. What is it, 6 or 7?
Well, he's missed 2. I've got him for 4 of 6 now. 2 more. Makes it 6 of 8. Well, Coach, I was just going to ask you why you keep a guy like that on the floor who's seen limited time this year for Indiana, kind of been a spot player. But Bob says it's up to you to make sure this kind of like a closer role, apparently. The goaltending call on Patterson.
Nice penetration. Really, initially, Oriental tried to put the ball on the inside. You'll see it come in here. Oki gets it, goes up, extends up high, right on the rim.
And a foul down low on Osita Wachuku, I believe it's going to be the foul. And going the other way, I think they're going to put Brian Evans at the line.
That time they moved all the players back to free throw line extended. That's from sideline to sideline, and moved Evans on the baseline to be open. Now, one which they've done so well, the Badgers, is taking that first inlet pass and double teaming that player and forcing him to release it.
Play one, fellas.
It's about automatic.
No violations, one shot.
I can remember at one time there were 2 players at Indiana that Coach Knight said the only time they shoot is the free throw line. They both drove for the basket, shots blocked, team came down the floor, put it in the hole, they never played again. Not ever.
On Patterson, that'll be number 5, and the student section will enjoy this little session.
Yep, they're starting in right away, but here's a player that's had foul trouble. He doesn't start today, brings him off the bench. But again, it's, you go back to it, the second game with Coach Knight saying, we want you to be a more physical player. We want your presence known by the opposition and to us as well.
So Mo Peterson to the line. And he connects. Moselle Peterson, what a job at the free throw line, John, over the last 11 games. 87%.
Yeah, his presence could have been used and would have been very, very positive for the Badgers.
There's the turnover. Wisconsin won, and Sam Oki comes away with a loose ball. Let's see if they can convert down 11. And a hold. Neil Reed holds Oki. Interesting.
Well, right away, the recognition here of Oriental moving the ball to the left side, saw the mismatch, that on the turnover through the pressure defense, Reed gets caught matched up against Oki. Now watch what he does here. His hands there. Now he's going to get it. He's trying to front him. He's going to try to make sure he doesn't get the ball, but he's going to force him to go to the free throw line. Other students now are counting the steps of Coach Knight. But I don't think he's going to sit down for them.
Well, he's going to do it anyway. I think he can have a little fun when he's on the road, can he?
He has fun every place he goes. I mean, it doesn't matter whose barn he's in.
Well, he hasn't lost here since 1980. Badgers get 1 or 2 and a foul from behind on Hency Oriental. Lindemann will go to the free throw line.
Now you're talking. See where you end up, you talk about Rolls at 25%, lowest in fouling. Now you talk Lindemann, right about the same, 45 for regular season, 50 for Big Ten. But now so far that hasn't worked.
No, it hasn't. Well, new player.
That's right. Now he goes for an automatic 2 because you're at the limit of 10 fouls. Nothing but net.
Tell you what, you got to give credit where credit is due, and if you need to seal the game at the free throw line, Indiana certainly is doing that for the most part. And Osita Wachuku and Hency Oriental almost lost that. Oriental wanted the ball so he could start the break. Made away by Doherty is good. Lead down to 9. a jump ball is called. Possession arrow favors the Badgers. A lot of life left with 2:04 to go if you can convert here.
Well, another three, but just an opportunity. And you see that what Dick Bennett's going to do, he's going to put in your offensive punch from perimeter, your best three-point shooter, Jeremy Hall.
Big possession for the Badgers. Peterson brings it out against Reed. Kicks it back out, Doherty. Drives the lane and connects. 68-61. Here comes Miller. Reed with the ball. No quick fouls here in a 7-point game. Badgers work the D. Evans steps up, no good. Doherty the rebound. Exactly what Wisconsin wanted.
Here's the opportunity again. Every set.
Inside Oki against Evans. And an offensive foul called on Sam Oki. Boy, how about that for the senior on defense?
Now that's true. Position on the inside for all the Sam Oki. See him there looking, and now inside he goes up. Evans doesn't go for the fake, he comes back. Good position by Evans, excellent call. If that's where you have it down to 7 and you want the shot. Now do you foul him? Yes.
Traveling call.
Oh, they let the physical part go there. Good position. Now Evans saying if it goes in the hole, I should say Dick Bennett, not Evans. We'll keep Dick Bennett.
Hall, a long three, can't get it to go. And Osita Washuku and Brian Evans battle. And Osita Washuku gets called for the foul and the block out. And he is not happy. He has to watch his temper there. Certainly don't need a tee.
You'll see the quick three here. Goes up, off of it, look on the inside. I'll tell you, the imbalance of Evans really sort of helps create that, but also you have two players tangle up.
Evans connects. The Badgers had a couple of opportunities with the score at 68-61 and could not convert. An offensive foul and another defensive foul and a three-point miss.
Well, there's a point where you need 3 threes. You've really only got a 2 possession here for Wisconsin unless the pressure can free it otherwise.
1 minute remaining.
Peterson saves it. Doherty, long three. Got it. Sean Doherty. That gets it down to 70-64 Indiana. And the Badgers call a quick timeout with 47 seconds to go. It'll be Hoosier basketball when we come back to the field house. Ball loose. And a jump ball. Indiana will get it back at half court. They did get the ball loose, and now Carlin slow to get up. Probably just out of frustration more than anything right now.
One is, talk about effort on the floor for a loose ball. You talk about there, you talk about the player hooking the player to gain position on the drive.
Evans will inbound. Finds Rolls. They're going to want to foul him. And they don't.
They don't call it. They do not call it. Now they call it when they foul Reed.
Possibly the Badgers have to make it a little more physical for the foul, make it more obvious.
I like
You don't want to get into that type of a game,
man, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have wanted to play for you, man. I'll tell you what, there wouldn't be any blood left. Now you've got Reed, 80% for the season, 76 Big Ten play. 2 for 2 for today.
a pair, 72-64. Okie the rebound. Can't get it to go. Ball loose. Oriental throws it up, draws the foul with 21 seconds left.
Excellent effort battling the boards. You had 5 Indiana shirts there. Jeremy Hall holding the court balance-wise, and 4 Badgers. Peterson, Doherty, Okie, Oriental trying to get the ball back up. Now you'll see it on the replay. Goes up, see him extend a hand out, really created a contact with Lindemann to go to the free throw line. Now the defensive change for Wisconsin with Carlin and with Chukwu coming back in so they can create the foul immediately.
Oriental connects. It's amazing. He's come out with some loose balls right underneath the hoop a few times here in the second half.
Well, that's a good hand when you get the big people bring the ball down and don't protect it with their size.
6-point game again. Reed quickly up court. And a foul on Moselle Peterson near midcourt. 16.6 to go.
Wisconsin fouls on Moselle Peterson.
Bob Knight concerned about the push from behind earlier.
And Moselle Peterson actually going up and calling for the hook, which means the hand really warding off the defender so you can beat him.
Well, it would appear that the Hoosiers are going to leave the field house with their 31st straight victory over Wisconsin, and that is really something in this day and age in college basketball.
Well, it is because of the great home court advantage you have in your own confine playing people, but they've come in, won some big games in here. Last second shot, double overtime game.
Timeout, Indiana.
And the Hoosiers will call a timeout. 16 seconds left in this contest when we come back to Madison after this local timeout. Join us next Saturday on Creative Sports for a Big Ten doubleheader. The action gets underway at 11 a.m. Central when the Nittany Lions of Penn State play host to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Then the Golden Gophers of Minnesota travel to Champaign to take on the Fighting Illini. It's all right here on Creative Sports. Check your local listings. Bob Knight and the Hoosiers 74-66 over Wisconsin with 16.6 seconds to go. Badgers host Penn State on Wednesday night. The Nittany Lions lost to the Gophers today in Minnesota. Moselle Peterson gets it down to 6 and calls a timeout with 10.8 to go.
Amazing in this game. Anything can happen.
Timeout on the floor. We'll be back after this timeout to Madison. 10.8 seconds to go. Indiana looks like they'll wrap up the victory. Badgers doing all they can to make sure that doesn't happen, though. Nice drive by Moselle Peterson to get Wisconsin back down to 6.
And you saw a little contact. Indiana, the credit on that one is the 2 people they put are Miller and Evans to go to the ball. He really kept Rolls completely away from that, and Lindemann.
And Rolls has stayed in for most of the second half, and especially during the crunch time where the free throws were so important for Indiana. You said a 25% shooter steps up and hits 6 of 8 from the line.
That's right. You talk about your game right now, 7 points. You take both he and Lindemann in this game. See, that was 8. They make 8. I should say 9 of 12.
Okie, long three. No good, and time will wind down. That'll do it for Madison. The Indiana Hoosiers make it 31 straight over the Badgers. 76-68, the final from the field house. Not a game where the Badgers ran out of gas, just Indiana and their big guys doing the job physically.
Well, they did in the first 5 minutes of the second half was the turning point
inside. They've got that weight advantage and height advantage.
A spin move, Evans, nothing but net. His first bucket.
What a stroke.